So this happened a few months back. I was driving my taxi to late shift, the one where everyone's drunk and trying to get home before they drop dead of a heart attack. Well, I got this call from a woman. She wanted a lift from the station to what sounded like a private address. So I pulled up outside the station, and there she was, all dolled up in a red dress, hair done up real nice. No, I don't mean like she was going to some kind of party. I mean like she was going to a funeral or something. Anyway, she got in the car and told me the address. It was quite a way out of town and down some real dodgy side streets. And I was like, "Are you sure this is the right address?" But she just gave me a deadpan look and said, "Are you trying to get rid of me?" Which kind of freaked me out, to be honest. So I put my foot down and we carried on. About 20 minutes later, we pulled up outside this house. It was a big Victorian-type place with a big gate and a big long driveway. And she told me to wait here while she knocked on the door, and I could hear her talking to someone inside the house. Then she came back to the car and said, "Can you go around the other side of the car and open my door from that side? I can't open it from this side." And I thought, okay, that's a bit weird, but sure. So I went around to the other side of the car and opened her door for her. But as she got out of the car, she turned around and looked at me and said, "Thanks for the lift, John." And I thought, did she say my name? How did she know my name? Then she walked past me without saying another word and went up the path to the front door and disappeared inside. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was totally freaked out at this point because up until now, she hadn't said a single word to me during the entire car ride. And then suddenly she knew my name and she was thanking me for the lift. Now, I've had strange passengers before, people who are drunk or people who are high, but this was next level stuff. So I sat there for a few seconds trying to work out what the hell was going on. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized there was only one explanation. She wasn't real. I swear to God, this story is true. The woman who got in my taxi that night was not real. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, "Oh, John, why didn't you just drive off? Why didn't you just floor it and get out of there?" But let me tell you, when you see something like that, when you see a ghost, you can't move. You can't move. So anyway, I eventually came to my senses, and I got out of the car and walked around to the other side so I could get my fare out of the card machine. And as I was doing this, I could see the front door open and close. I could see the curtains move behind the glass. But when I looked through the window, there was nothing there. There was no woman. Then I noticed that there was a bit of damp on the seat where she'd been sitting. And when I wiped it away, underneath the damp, I could see the imprint of a name carved into the glass. And that's when I really knew that I was not going crazy. The passenger that I picked up, the woman who'd sat in my taxi, she wasn't real. And whoever was in that house had somehow managed to carve their name into my window. Now, I don't know how that's even possible, because my windows are literally bulletproof. They're one of those tinted ones. And yet somehow this woman had managed to carve her name into it. And to this day, I still don't know whose that message was for or why she left it on my taxi.